John, can I ask you then about Seamus Callanan? And again, because you were involved in the management team that was over him, 40 championship goals, like he brought his tally to at the weekend against Offaly. No player in modern hurling comes anywhere close to that, especially because every one of them were from play. Like, what's he like to have as a dressing room, in the dressing room as a leader, and like what a player?
Oh, sure. Look at Seamus Callanan is meticulous in the way he prepares, and look at he's a great fella for the younger lads to look up to. I suppose the biggest thing that I'd say he brings to every game is that he loves playing. There's a want there to play the whole time. He's not going around, I suppose, inside the dressing room laughing and thinking that, you know what I mean, I'm James Callanan, I scored all these goals and I'm above everybody else. He's not. He's going around, he's pulling lads' jerseys, he's giving lads thumps in the chest. He knows at the end of the day he would never have scored them goals unless he had other players all around the field. And Seamus Callanan is a team player. He loves Tipperary. He I'd say, look at other lads might have set down at this stage. He's gone through lots of injuries, gone through lots of different things, but there's a phenomenal passion there, and he's a good way about him. He'll bring younger players forward, and in fairness, his vision on the field as well. There's lots of different. He's so many different qualities outside of scoring goals, but as a leader in the dressing room, every player would look up to him. That's for sure.
John, I remember a few years ago, like when you were selector with Tipperary, chatting to you in Thurles, and you were talking about how you'd had a chat with Jason Forde to sit down and you've been on the panel a few years ago. It's about time that you really embraced being one of the leaders of the team. And JC put on a fair scoring show the other day. Now, he'll obviously have to back it up against one of the big teams this weekend, but can you talk to us about his progression and what you said to him?
Yeah. Look, I suppose Jason Forde is a phenomenal talent, and everybody, not just in Tipperary, but everybody around the country recognises that. I suppose what I really love about Jason Forde at the minute, he's really after stepping up as a leader. And I suppose you look at every year, leaders need to come on board. And, you had the Seamus Callanans and the Bonners and all these lads, but now they're still there and they are leaders in their own right. But these other fellas have to be the key men to drive this force. I suppose at that time, look at Jason Forde had a lot of hurling done, and I suppose he wasn't. He wasn't fully nailing down a starting position, and with the talent that he had, it should have been automatic. So Jason had to bring something new to the table because he had all the skill set. And I mean, I suppose what did we say to him that time? Look at. It was really put back in his own court. Like, he needed to go away and do something different. And Jason Forde, I mean, when we were, I suppose, a few weeks later, or maybe a couple of months later, when we were assessing players, Jason Forde had come on as regards strength and conditioning and everything, had come on leaps and bounds and turned himself inside out. And that took hard work on his own. Like, he took what we said to him on the chin that day. And I mean, that year he was close to that following year he was close to hurler of the year, But I suppose one thing, like when we had our chat that time, I remember sitting in the room and saying to the lads, right after he made that phenomenal change, I said, we need to give him the lead. We need to give him a leadership role. Put him back in his where he always played his best hurling. Give him the freeze, give him rope to do stuff, and stand off him a little bit and let him go and see how it goes, because he has the tools. And look, he's gone leaps and bounds, and he's a fantastic player, and he's going to be a huge part of this Tipperary this weekend and every weekend. And I'm telling you, the Galway lads will have to be watching him, because I think that if he gets ball half right, he's practically unmarkable at the moment.
Shane,
he just looks unburdened at the moment. There's always times where he felt he was going out on the field and he felt he felt under pressure, and maybe he was one eye in the sideline. He just doesn't. He looks unburdened now. He looks like he's okay. I belong here. I'm a leader in this team. I'm nearly the first name on the team sheet in the forward line, like maybe along with Noel McGrath, like so. And I suppose I think the crucial thing for Tip now going forward is that he's fresh. Like he's sick. He's had 6 weeks out with the hamstring. He didn't get killed in Munster. I thought he he was excellent last week, like 2-4 for play out, 2-11. His second goal was brilliant, that one-handed pull overhead.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing where to position him this Sunday or Saturday. I think he's made for full forward on Sunday. I think Gerard McInerney is I think he's struggling a bit back there, and I think somebody like Jason with maybe the busy bees of Forde and Keogh buzzing around him really could cause that Galway full backline ferocious trouble.
He's brought I suppose he what I liked about him as well. Look at you don't want to take away from the skills that he has, but he's brought that bit of aggression as well into his game. That he's, you know what I mean. Look at, I think that Tipperary have to be ruthless. There's lots of teams out there, you know, are happy to throw balls over the bar to try and win the games. But I think the Tipperary are a team that can go for the juggler, and I think they have to. I think, like as you said there, with that space inside and the space that's created in forwards and the inside line, I think it's made for Jason Forde. If he gets a yard on the back at all, I mean, he has that, you know, that ability to. And then look at his vision then as well, and his passing of the ball on top of what he can do on his own is phenomenal. Now look at another player that you mentioned there, like Mark Keogh is another guy like that's growing. And I suppose look at, there was times when lads look at, and we've all done it. If things weren't going your way, you'd be kind of nearly looking out onto the sideline. But as you said, all these boys seem to be hurling very relaxed. There's a lovely relaxed, you know, they're working really hard for each other. There's great support on the bench, I think, which is going to be key on Sunday. I think Tipperary's panel is quite strong at the minute,